Who's the prosecutor?
Me, Judge.
In the middle, please. Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2025 CR 006058B State versus Roberto Monreal. Can I have parties announced?
Jason Goss for Mr. Monreal.
All right, so there's a motion to amend bond conditions to allow for travel. And then there's another motion asking that contact be allowed with a specific individual.
Well, I believe that
It's
they-
connected to this.
I don't think that order is the proper order. I think there is an additional motion that we have, but it's kind of a strange one. Pretrial has,
So are we hearing that today?
I think they attach two different.
Okay, so are we, well, you can't tear it apart because
Oh.
they filed it some sort of way.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a different defendant, so it's not.
No, but I mean, they have to unstaple it because
I'm sorry.
they're filing it legally, however they're filing
Yes,
it.
yes, ma'am. That would be a different defendant. So we're here on Roberto Monreal.
All right. Okay, you want to look through that? All right, so motion to travel. State, are you opposed?
The mayor believes that this time, and the reason for that is due to the charge that's been alleged, and we do believe due to the father living in Arizona, that does present a flight risk, and so that's why we want.
My client's 18 years old. The prosecutor referenced the charge. It is a murder charge. This is a situation from the arrest warrant affidavit where that the court could see that there is a.
Oh, I don't have the arrest warrant affidavit in front
I
of me.
understand. I believe it's in the court's file. Usually it's filed as part.
We're
of.
paperless,
Okay.
so I don't have
I
that.
understand.
That's okay.
If I could, since you referenced the charge itself, and I think the prosecutor will at least agree on the facts that there.
Now this is interesting. This isn't just about travel anymore. We're talking about education, restrictions, and whether pretrial control limiting a teenager's future before trial even begins.
There was a person who died, but that person was in the same car as my client.
Mhm.
So this was not a person he was basically participating in whatever my client was participating in. My client was not a shooter. My client did not have a gun. My client was not involved in that. Now, the only reason I say that for the court is that if considering the charge, that I think those facts are also important. But additionally, his father lives in Arizona. He's 18 years old. He would like to go visit his father. The court has already granted him travel previously in the past where he did travel and he came back. And
That was during Christmas holidays, right?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
He's shown the court that he is not a flight risk. He's 18. Like I said, he's 18. There's not really, he doesn't really have anywhere to go, but he would like to see his father. He hasn't been able to see his father since he's been arrested. And so that's why we're asking for that brief period to go to Arizona and to come back, and for that travel to be granted.
Judge, I will agree to a certain extent with Mr. Boston's rendition of the facts. It is a felony murder, so there's an underlying felony that was occurring at the time of the murder. And I will stipulate that this defendant was not charged as the principal. And if the court would like, I can produce a copy of the arrest warrant.
And we have no objection to that. If the
All right.
court wants that.
Let me see that. Mr. Monreal, who all lives in the household with your father?
It's just my father, Your Honor.
We're off the record for briefly. Bashan,
Yes, Judge.
so on Montez,
Yes, Judge.
they say they're just, They said they're just waiting on the referral. I'm gonna send this to you. Yes, I'll sign it. And we're back on the record.
We can give it to the court. I have a copy digitally, and whatever the court is looking at is fine with me.
For purposes of this.
Yeah, no objection.
Court will accept B1 for purposes of this hearing. All right, court has reviewed B1 for purposes of this hearing. I'll hear final argument.
Judge,
Yes, Your Honor, as the court has reviewed, the person who was deceased was the person that they're alleging was committing the robbery, shot by the alleged victim of the robbery. As the court can see, my client did not have a firearm, did not carry a firearm, and we're going to be litigating this case, but I just wanted the court to understand this, because I know the court knows, but just to see the facts of this case, there's a difference between somebody actively committing violence by taking a gun, shooting a gun at a person. My client didn't do any of those things. And really what we're asking at this point is just to, on this motion, is to have him be able to visit his father. As I said, he is 18 years old, was 18 years old at the time of the commission of this offense. So he is a teenager, and we do think that it's important for him to see his father. We think that by the court giving him the opportunity the court has given him before, and him being able to take that opportunity and to do what he was supposed to do and what the court asked him to do, and follow the rules of pretrial and the bond conditions this court has set upon him. We believe that he's shown the court that he can be trusted to go visit with his father and return. And we don't think that there's any information or evidence the state has provided that would not be the case.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. Previously, the court allowed the defendant to travel December 22nd through the 27th, and that was to Denver with family. And are there any allegations that he violated any pretrial conditions while traveling there?
I understand that's when there was no bill by.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will allow you to visit your father. I'll give you the same travel that I've given before, but it's for 5 days. That was the Christmas travel, and this will be for 5 days. So it's 5 days from March 7th. Are you leaving March 7th or a different date?
And just like that, permission granted. But notice how tightly the judge controls it. 5 days, strict conditions, and no wiggle room. This is freedom on a leash.
All right, so you'll need to provide that information to pretrial services. So then your travel date that's on this motion, it says March 7th through March 15th. That's not the appropriate travel date?
I believe that it is the appropriate travel date, but as the court has limited that date, I don't know. I don't know necessarily how that would limit as far as where the 5 days are going to be at the end, or the 5 days are going to be starting from the 7th or coming back from the 15th. Do you see what I mean? And so it might be the 10th through the 11th through the 15th, or the
All right,
7th
this
through
is what the court is going to do. The court is going to grant the motion. You're allowed to travel to Phoenix, Arizona in the month of March 2026 for 5 days. There should be UA upon return. And you're to reside at the address that's given in the motion. Is there anything else?
Not for the defense on this motion. There is an issue I'd like to address with the court. I've talked to the district clerk and they have not been able to, there's a letter his pretrial officer has written to the court. I think the court wanted a hearing based upon that letter. It had, I know, and and they couldn't find it either. I don't know if probation might have access to it, but the basic issue is my client would like to apply to a trade school and he asked his pretrial officer for permission to do that. She did not grant it. She wrote a letter to the court. The school would start in September.
All right, if somebody want to contract, who's the pretrial service officer?
From here on,
Yes.
Amanda Sings.
All right, Norma, see if she can zoom in. Or if you'll let the coordinator know who it is, and then we'll have her zoom in.
Amanda Sings.
Fine,
Yeah, Science.
America's fine.
All right, just have a seat. She'll zoom in and we'll take up the matter.
Yes, thanks.
State, do you have any objection to taking up that matter now?